It's the Bachelor Lifestyle. It's the Bachelor Lifestyle. Can I steal you for a minute? It's my first impression, bro. It's Rob Beck, the Jay Stewart breaking down all the shows. It's the Bachelor on ABC with Chris Harrison. You crying in a little sent home. How embarrassing. The most dramatic ever. That's what we like. Play your cards right. You might end up on paradise. Here's the key to the fantasy suite. All sleep so you can sleep with your third or fourth girl of the week.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Bachelor Lifestyle from theballerlifestyle.com. My name, of course, is Brian Beckner. Thank you very much for joining us. We are discussing this season of Bachelor in Paradise, which is, well, we'll get into it. I am joined, as always, by the great Jason Stewart. Jason, how are you, buddy?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Now, so this is considered by a lot of people the great white shark and a sea of Bachelor podcasts. And I think
Who says that, by the way? I've heard that, but who says that?
People.
That's
have done
right.
It.
That's yeah.
And I think over the next tight 45, you're going to hear why it's called the Great White. Because we have teeth, and this season deserves a lot of dissection and a lot of criticism. It's losing us as viewers. We don't traffic in off the air stuff. We don't know how the public is receiving this. I'm guessing that there's a demographic above the age of 55 that's just loving this season for how charming and sweet it is. But you and I don't watch Bachelor in Paradise for charming and sweet. We watch it because it's dirty, it's despicable. It's the greatest combination of 20-somethings that really want to be famous at the risk of humiliation. I don't need 60-somethings in my dirt.
No, and I mean 60-somethings this April. Jason, I mean, is this even legal to put somebody this age on TV? I looked it up because I was watching it, and I looked it up, and she's claiming to be like 67 or something. Is that her name? April?
Yep.
This woman is 95 years old. Jason, what are we doing? What are we doing here? This is supposed to be young, hot people making out, having threesomes. What are we looking at? They're doing fucking water aerobics. Hannah Brown is there. God knows why. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know. I don't understand what this show is. And you know what? They don't either, because they do a big pivot at the end of this episode where they're going to make it a completely different show in the middle of the season. How does this happen, Jason?
I don't know, but I really thought when the Goldens were introduced, I want to say it was last week during that 5-hour slog, it looked like the show was going to kind of just have them as like cute wallpaper in the background, but not like getting into relationships and overnights and stuff and romances. But we found out the hard way in this episode. I did a lot of fast forwarding, which I almost never do. I know that's usually your tactic, even during the main franchise.
I watched the whole shit. I'll tell you. I don't even think I was fast forwarding because I was watching it in real time, Jason. I didn't wait till it came out on Hulu so I could fast forward. I watched it in real time on antenna TV.
Wait, the actual rabbit ears?
Well, no, but you know what I mean.
Oh,
broadcast television. Yeah, metaphor.
It was a
metaphorical.
Yeah. It's another way of saying that you watched something that you couldn't. It wasn't like a DVR function. You watched something live, so you just call it rabbit ears.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I was really disappointed in that the producers made a decision to really make this thing PG. It's much less interesting, less risque. less despicable, and we tune in for despicable. But let's
Yeah.
get through it. Let's get to the highlights. It was
Tight
just a little
45.
bit harder to comb through this stuff.
Yep.
What was the movie? When they
Beverly Hills
told
Cop.
people, no, when they told people to comb through the desert. What are we? Was it the original
Moses?
Spaceballs?
Moses? Oh yeah, right. Maybe. The original, is there a second space? There's only one Spaceballs. What do you mean the original Spaceballs? The remade
No, I read they're
Spaceballs?
coming out with another one. I read they're
Shut
coming
up.
out with another one.
You just made that
Yeah.
up. You just made that up.
Mel Brooks is like 100. But so they tell
he's
these
still
guys.
too young. He's still too young to date April.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
April could be Mel Brooks's grandmother. This lady's so goddamn old. What are we doing?
I think maybe they could even like promote Spaceballs and bring on Mel Brooks, and April would be like, "You're too young for me." So we left off with some couples, and I think we're a couple days away from a rose ceremony. I don't remember anybody being added to this episode up until the rose ceremony, but Dale and Kat reached some drama. So I think we're
good TV.
She's great TV, and she does this like intentional introduction of drama, an infusion of drama. By the end of the episode, you're like, oh, that was all for nothing, but it seemed pretty good.
She's nuts. She's nuts. She knows how to be on TV. She's done this before. She's great.
I agree. And she has a great canvas of stupidity to work with. Like Dale is not bright, extremely attractive. I think you made the comment last week that he looks way older than, or he's way older than he was when he came on the show originally.
Rough couple years dating Claire for Dale.
Yeah, it took a lot out of him. And then remember, Dale is, if you're wondering, if you're just listening to the podcast and you don't watch the show, Dale, just picture if Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter had a baby. He would look like Dale. I can't think of a better description. So
a friend of the show, Brad in New York, one-time co-host of the show, Brad in New York, who does these amazing, like these songs. He made these songs for us, the Bachelor Lifestyle. He does all these songs that we have. He does. Oh, you know what he did? You know what he did? That's amazing. Is this song? We haven't played it in a while, but it's a classic and it's very mean. Sorry, J Stu.
Yes, his hearing is poor, so mean, and he pleads not your blue. He's a semi-regular on the show. His name is J Stu. Now he's tweeting some more. And he's from Brea too. From Brea. Weird. Moles on his face. He's in the place. His name is J Stu.
Hold on, but just to even it out, he also made this song about me. Just so you
Ryan's breaking out all over the place. Got a bunch of fucking zits on his fucking face. Come on and zoom in now. He's got the zits. Some are red and some are white. Make you want to scream. 48 years old, breaking out like he's 18. All his hormones out of whack now. He's got the zits.
He's got the zits.
He's got the zits. He's got the zits.
Okay, I digress here. He says that Dale kind of reminds him of Aaron Judge, which I also see. I see the Jeter and the A-Rod and Aaron Judge. He's just all sorts of Yankees rolled into one. Okay, continue. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
You take all those sperm, and you put it into what's her name? Former swimsuit model. She later had a talk show. She did the runway, hosting the runway.
Heidi Klum? Heidi Klum?
No, the black woman with the green eyes.
Oh, Tyra Banks.
So if you take the semen, the sperm of Aaron Judge, Derek Jeter, and Alex Rodriguez, and you put it into her, I think it comes out Dale. Wow. But Kat has an issue. Here it is. All of a sudden, a couple days later, she's like, hey, did you kiss Allie Joe in the kissing tent? Now remember, second episode of the season, they did this little game where it was like Tinder. They swiped right if they wanted to kiss a cast member.
Yep.
Most guys just went right on every woman, and
Swipe
whatever
right.
woman agreed or swiped right, they got matched with them. Well, Dale kissed Allie Joe. Okay, Allie Joe has since been ousted from the show.
That's right.
But Kat just out of nowhere is like, did you kiss Allie Joe in the kissing tent? And Dale's like, yeah, but it didn't mean anything. And all of a sudden, Kat just starts grilling him about why would you not tell me that? Why wouldn't you? I thought this was what's great about it. Kat's like, I thought this was about transparency and being honest, and being real and intentional. Why wouldn't you tell me that you kissed Allie Joe in the kissing tent? And for the first time of 19, Dale says, no, I deaded it. It was over. I deaded it. I think, deaded, like past tense. Dead, past tense, deaded.
What's that mean? I don't speak Gen Z.
Right. And I don't even think he's Gen Z, but I think that's a Dale word for, I put it in my past, so everybody else has to put it in their past. That's his way of saying it's dead. It's dead to me. So you don't need to deal with it.
Yeah.
But
I'm reaching out to my Gen Z child to decode that. I deaded it.
Yeah.
We'll see if she responds.
I challenge any of our listeners to use that one with their significant other, and see how that goes. Because I deaded it. So you don't need to worry about it anymore.
Next time I can't get an erection and somebody's like, hey, yo, Brian, what's going on? Like, is it me? Is it you? Is it me? I'll just go, yo, I deaded it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you're at work and you did something in direct violation of the policy, and your boss is like, what's going on here? I think I got to send you to HR, and you say, I deaded it.
I deaded it.
I'm done.
Yeah. It's over.
It's over.
Can't bring it up again.
Yeah, because you did it. So Kat's not buying it. She hates the word. She tells her girlfriends that he keeps saying deaded it, and it sounds lame. She has no idea what it means.
Is that when she was crying in their shared living quarters? Is that what she was talking about? It was interesting that they're when they go to the girls' living quarters and they're all talking, they're all like hanging on each other and like embracing. It's basically like a lesbian porno. Like, I'm way into it when they're in the girls' room. And then when they're in the guys' room, they couldn't be farther apart. They're like not like engaged, like kind of looking away. Like, oh, what's like? It's an interesting difference between the girls' dynamic and the boys' dynamic on this show. I noticed.
Oh, I've got something to run by you. Okay. I just want your first opinion. So. Are you familiar with the Gen Z term pause?
No, I'm not.
Okay. You probably are. If you're like, that guy comes hard, and then you say pause. When a dude says, man, that guy really comes hard, pause. You're not familiar with that term? Okay. I've had a dispute with the host of my daily talk show, the Doug Gottlieb Show.
Doug Gottlieb.
And I am under the impression that the use of the word pause, and you should Google this, it's all over.
Okay.
Just replaced no homo. Because no homo isn't politically correct. And it's just
I'm
kind
still
of
doing no homo. Yeah.
Are you okay? If that's the case, like, I think, like, I thought it was politically correct to like to distance yourself from being gay. Like, what's wrong with being gay? We're all supposed to accept gayness. Why should I say no homo? You know?
So so when you're like, Dale is really handsome, he's a really good looking guy, pause. That's
correct.
you.
Yeah.
That's okay. I got it.
Yeah.
Fair. I'm not sure I like it. Yeah.
Doug, because
Yeah.
he's got teenagers too and 20-somethings, and he says that pause is just universally used as any sexual action between any genders, so in other words, I think it replaced no homo. He thinks it replaced that's what she said. You know, that's, man, you're really big. That's what she said.
Pause.
You know, pause. So it's a dispute on our show, and I was hoping that you would be able to give me more evidence that it's mine, but you're completely unfamiliar. So
I've reached out to my child, but she's at work, so I don't know if we'll hear back from her, but I can't wait.
Well, here's the deal. Urban Dictionary says pause replace no homo. Urban Dictionary. So I have that in my corner. I also have 18 examples of like Richard Sherman saying to Skip Bayless, because Skip Bayless actually said that. He was like, man, that guy comes hard. And Richard Sherman's like, pause. So like I've got examples of dudes saying it to dudes, which supports my no homo.
Hold on.
I've got a lot of evidence in my corner.
The millennial child or the Gen Z child has reached out, and she says, deaded. She doesn't know. She said, I don't know that thing. But she says pause is like if you actually say something sus, it's like pause. So it could be anything that you say that, you know, like, hey, if I was drunk, I might let April hit it. Pause. So that it works there, even though that's not no homo, right? Because, right?
Well, that would support Gottlieb's version of pause. But anyways, we'll hear from
who's the black guy with the glasses? Who's the black guy with the glasses in the older crew on the show? What's his name? Gary? Glenn?
The new black
what's
gentleman.
His name?
Gary.
What's his name? Gary. Gary seems super gay to me. Pause. See, that works. Does that work?
Maybe.
Okay. All right.
Maybe. But maybe our listeners could give us some feedback on this, because we all have kids, and I really was convinced it's a replacement for no homo. But anyways, that's the homework assignment for our listeners.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with anything. So something happens next that I need your input on. Jeremy and Bailey, they got into a little bit of a thing last time where Jeremy tried to get Susie back, who was boarding a plane, but after giving the rose to Bailey, well, they've made up.
They have. Jeremy. Yeah. Jeremy's 60. Pause.
Right.
He's so old. I can't believe he turned 31 while he was there, or he turned 30 or whatever. He's so old. It's just jarring to me. He looks like he's one of the golden bachelors. No pause.
Yeah. You need to stop the use of the word pause until we figure out exactly what it means, because you're not even using it right.
Unpause on pause.
Yep. But they were sitting there, and they do something that I can't say I've ever done. In fact, I turned to my super hot girlfriend Christina and said,
pegging.
Have you ever done that?
No, you've done.
So
this. Yeah.
They're just sitting there talking, and Bailey says, do you want your gum back?
Oh, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
Do you want your gum back? And he's like, yeah, sure. Yeah. And then they kiss, and she puts the gum in her mouth back, I guess, because it's inferred it was in his mouth originally.
Yeah.
Back into his mouth. And she says, I sucked all the flavor out of it.
Oh,
I just think that's disgusting.
First of all,
do that?
gum in general is disgusting. I haven't chewed a piece of gum in 30 years because it's disgusting. Gum is disgusting. It makes you it makes your stomach start digesting. It makes you have a lot of spit in your mouth. It tastes like shit. It makes your jaw sore. Fuck gum in any form, obviously, but especially if it's been chewed in somebody else's mouth. What is, you know how like Cat's good? Like they're obviously doing this to be on TV. Kat is good at being on TV because she's like, hey, why'd you make out with Allie Joe? Oh, because I'm on a game show. And that's what you do on this game show is you make out with people. Like she doesn't know that. She knows that, but she knows if she acts hurt and fake cries that it's going to get on TV. These other dolts are like, how about you want to chew my chewed up gum? You know, disgusting. These people are disgusting. Jeremy's old and I'm done with both of them. Continue.
Yeah, that's yet another one I want to throw out to the listeners. Like, who does? Are we the exceptions here? Are couples trading gum all over the place?
No.
I've never even heard of this crap.
I will say that I don't chew gum, but I'm addicted to these Altoid Arctic mints. Have you had these? It's not just, you know how Altoids are real chalky?
Yes.
So it's not like that. They're smooth. They're like egg shaped and they're smooth. They're real smooth on the outside. And I pop them in my mouth 2 at a time and I get 2 different flavors, spearmint and peppermint. I pop them in 2 at a time and I break them between my teeth. And I swear to God, do we have a dentist in the audience? 949-464-TBLS. Call me, dentist, or mailbag at theballerlifestyle.com. I need a dentist to let me know. I think I might be getting a cavity. Could I bite these? I'll have like 30 mints per car ride, and I'm just breaking them up in my teeth. And it's like an oral fixation, Jason. I've got an oral fixation on these mints, breaking them in my teeth. Okay.
I too ditched gum a while back, and I have become a mint user.
Fuck gum.
But I kind of do the
Try
icebreaker.
Altoid Arctic. They're hard to find.
Yeah, I do the icebreakers. Altoids, you could find that anything is bad for you, but I could have sworn I read something about Altoids being bad for you in the same way that Listerine is bad for you. Like it's so jarring to the bacteria in your mouth. It's unhealthy or something.
It kills all the good bacteria, Jason.
Something like that.
Oh, so and I'm trying to feed the good bacteria with all this kimchi that I'm eating. I eat a lot of kimchi. I eat a lot of sauerkraut. I try to eat a lot of fermented.
Do you really? For your mouth bacteria?
Second brain. Yeah, for my gut bacteria.
I'm going to hit you. I'm going to offline with you on that because I think I need to do that too.
You should do that too. Hey Jason, why don't I give you something good that'll help your gut bacteria? Pause.
Yeah, still
you want something flavorful that you can put in your gut? I got you. Pause.
I think it would be more like I'm going to give you something. Can I give you something white in your mouth? Pause. Yeah. So Jonathan is another storyline here. Again, we're only doing the younger cast because the Goldens just bore the shit out of me. Jonathan is without a partner. He's desperate.
Yeah.
So he's like the 5'4" dude with this amazing body. Pause. Really good looking, great smile, but I just think he's got nothing between his ears.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no there.
He's
and
zero.
The aforementioned 91-year-old April really thinks he's cute. She's taken him under his wing. So he's thinking that maybe his one chance to get a rose is April. And he's like, I don't even know if there's a rule against that. But I want to stay in the hotel. Maybe she's my thing. So that's foreshadowing. I want to bring up something that Andrew says. Okay. Andrew and April, very attractive. Andrew's the black guy who loves to talk in like the old King's English. Mm-hmm. And then Alex is just the fun Canadian. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're talking. Yeah.
She's the butt plug
And
girl, and he's just super hot all the way around. He's got a great personality. He's gorgeous. Pause.
exactly. So
Yeah.
so they're just talking, and they were talking about how well they're getting along, and she says this out loud. She says that you're like a puzzle piece that fits inside me. You're like a puzzle piece that fits
That's his
in me.
cock.
That's what she
She's
said.
talking about his cock.
Yeah.
She's talking about his cock.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
Yep.
saying, put your cock inside me. Unpause.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
jigsaw puzzles, by the way, very underrated. Christina and I, during COVID, during the lockdown, picked up the hobby of jigsaw puzzling. Probably sounds extremely boring to you, but it's a great way to spend some time. It does something to you mentally. You're putting something together. You're finishing a problem. There's closure to that. I recommend it, and you could drink while
I
you do it.
believe you. Yeah, I believe you. I believe you. I've never done a jigsaw puzzle. I will never do a jigsaw puzzle. Never.
Sweet. So let's see what else. So April tells Jonathan, the 91-year-old April, was like, I wonder why you're single on the island. If I was younger, I would jump your bones. She said that to him.
See, that's how you can tell she's old, because nobody has used that phraseology since 1971. Jump your bones?
Right.
That's like in the first Bad News Bears. That's so old.
Yeah. No, what's the it's funny you say that. Diane Cannon used to say that in her movies.
She did? Diane Cannon was in movies?
That's the joke. She was in a couple of movies in the 70s, and then she played that role of actress on the Lakers sidelines that you knew was a big deal, but she just became the actress on the Lakers sidelines.
Think that would turn into so much work having to go to every Laker game. They play 41 home games, so it's basically like 2 nights a week you're going to a Laker game. That would just get to be so much all the time. I'm a big Dodger fan. Like, if I had season tickets and I lived near the ballpark, maybe I lived in Echo Park near the ballpark, out of 81 games, home games, Jason, how many do you think I would go to in a season? And I'm right near the ballpark, and I love the ball game. I love going to the ball game.
Maybe 20.
Yeah.
And then
20,
you would
30.
sell the other 61.
Yeah.
It's a chore. When I've reached that age where when somebody asks me if I want to go to the ball game, the first thing I think about is the pain in the ass that it's going to take to get in and out.
Yeah.
The cost.
Yeah.
Because even though your buddy's like, I got a ticket, you're paying for parking. I got 4 beers total for Christina and I last time.
Yeah.
That's $100. 4 beers, $100
each. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tough one.
You know what I do now is I park in lot 13, which is that. Have we talked about this? That's the lot outside of the ballpark, and I walk.
Yeah,
it's $5.
get
It's
your
$5
steps
to
in.
park there. And then also you walk past everybody that can't get out of the parking lot and get in your car and drive away. And people are still stuck in the parking lot. I do that. And also I quit drinking. So no beers. I get no beers, but I'll still go, like, with my kid, and I'll get a tray of food, and that's $100, a couple dogs, a nachos, Coke, peanuts. Exactly. No, it's expensive.
So first of all, your theory about park far away so that you're the first one out, that's right out of Clark Griswold's Wally World strategy.
Right. Yeah.
And my theory on Dodger dogs is that it proves the power of alliteration in our lexicon. If you use alliteration, something becomes a much bigger deal than it actually is. It's a decent dog with mustard and onion. Any hot dog tastes good to me, but because it's a Dodger dog, people think that it's like the world's greatest hot dog, which it isn't. It isn't.
No, it isn't.
So
it isn't. I would agree with that. If you get the super though, you got to get the super grilled Dodger dog, and that one's a little better. But I agree with you for the most part.
No, I've
Many
heard
better
that
hot
same
dogs
thing.
than
I don't get very particular with mine, but
your super hot girlfriend
so
Christina brings her own onions, which I like.
well, she doesn't have to anymore. They have onions back in the park, so we're good.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a COVID thing. The onions. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
they go back to Kat and Dale. Now, Kat and Dale are still going back at it. So it's become this thing where Kat acted put off, and now Dale's put off that she's bringing this up.
Yeah.
Dale.
Kat needs to start acting put in. Pause.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Dale is upset at the timing. Like, why are you bringing this up before rose ceremony? Like, wait until after rose ceremony, then bring it up. And he's so stupid, he doesn't understand that the obvious implication there is, give me the rose, and then I'm in control next week. So I don't have to put up with your bullshit. Like it.
Yeah.
So Dale's like, I mean, let's just get beyond this. I deaded it.
Yeah.
Let's get through the rose ceremony. I'm kind of put off by the timing here.
Yeah. Kat's gonna be more like cut. You know what I'm saying? Like not to spoil the end of the Bachelor Lifestyle, but if you watch The Bachelor this week, I mean, I'll spoil it. Kat gives Dale a rose, like that's and Kat's gonna be cut. She's gonna get cut next week because somebody new is gonna come on and they're gonna be all about Dale because Dale's a hot commodity and Kat acts a little crazy, you know, and so she's gonna be scrambling for somebody else's rose. Maybe that old guy Kim, the poet.
Well, remember, Kat was engaged on the last Bachelor in Paradise.
I don't remember.
And neither of us remembered it. Neither of us remembered.
I'm gonna look it up. Explain the episode. I keep interrupting you, but it's fun to do.
Yeah.
So you look that up, and I'll say, and I'm gonna ask ChatGPT who was Kat engaged to on The Bachelor.
Right. So Dale says something that always wins over a woman that you're dating. I definitely recommend anyone to use this with somebody, especially if they just started dating them. She starts giving him shit. She won't let it go. And he says,
hold on, Jason.
Words.
It was John Henry, the fucking underwater welder that everybody wanted to fuck last season.
That's right. Okay.
He came on and they're like, and he just said his job. This is why these blue collar guys got it figured out. They got a job they could do in any city in the world for good money. And every chick wants, and they get a couple tattoos, and every chick wants to have sex with them because they're an underwater welder. I completely forgot. They broke up 4 days after the end of the. They got engaged 4 days after they broke up 4 days after they got engaged, according to ChatGPT. Yeah,
that's actually a pretty long engagement for a Bachelor in Paradise.
It is.
So back to Dale. Guess what he said to Kat. Words that you probably never want to say to the woman that you're dating. At some point, she gets on his nerves so much that he says, "You remind me of my ex."
Oh, never do that.
Yeah,
you remind me of your mother. Never say you're just like your mother, and never say you remind me. Never. Yeah. You're supposed to act like you never dated anybody before. You never bring up. Oh yeah, I don't know about that. Never. Yeah. I never had a girlfriend before you. You're the first.
It's like, so he says that, and she's like, she's like stunned. Like, what did you say? Again, all this is just like unnecessary drama. She chooses the guy at the end. So I don't know what's going on here. She goes back to her friends and says, Dale said this to me. Then he said he deaded it. And then he says, give me the rose and move on. So no one with any brains would give him the rose because they know that the man has the power of the next episode, but Kat is not very bright, I guess. Dale goes back and complains about Kat to one of the old dudes, and he says, hey, I've had all 10 toes down this entire time. One of the old dudes, I don't even know his name, was like, he was talked offline on camera, and he's like, yeah, Dale says he's got all 10 toes in, and then he pauses, like, I have no idea what that means. No idea what that means. I'm guessing that means he's been intentional.
Yeah, it means you're all in.
Time.
That's how I would take it to mean. Like, instead of dipping a toe, it's like, hey, I'm just dipping a toe, which is like I'm testing the waters. 10 toes in means you're standing on the Baja step. You're ready to go. You're pretty much in the pool at that point, or the ocean.
Okay, quickly, rose ceremony. It's not the end of the episode. Rose ceremony. The big drama was Kat and Dale, but Kat gives the rose to Dale, so no drama. A couple people we haven't mentioned in this episode. Parisa gives her rose to that Jersey Shore Italian doofus Brian. They're a couple. Bailey and Jeremy, they exchange gum and they give each other roses. Alex, who is a puzzle piece that Andrew fits inside. Jess gave her rose to Spencer. They're basically married. Jill, annoying Jill with the facial expressions, gives her rose to the Ken doll Sean, real good looking kid. Pause. And then here it is. Here's the drama. April. I didn't even write down who the old people gave the rose to because I really don't care. But April throws a wrench in the works, and she chooses Jonathan. They're trying to cross-pollinate with the ages here.
Disgusting. It's
Jonathan,
so gross.
Who really wants to keep going. Yeah. He accepts the rose, but he's surprised. But I guess this is a real cute, charming moment. She basically says, I want you to find your person. And of course, we all know the only way you could find your person is to go on a game show where the producers try to humiliate you and make it so you can't find your person. That's the only way to find love in this world. So that's the rose ceremony. So we got the old people that paired off that I didn't even care to write down.
Yeah.
April gives her rose to Jonathan. They did not make love. There's no romance. Dale and Kat get into a fight almost right afterwards, which was very predictable. Dale's laying the groundwork to remove himself from Kat. And he uses this one, and this really got Christina's attention. So I'm guessing all women acted the same. He's like, yeah, we got different backgrounds. And she's like, what? Like, what do you mean backgrounds? Yeah, in my background, we keep things private within the relationship. And of course, I think every woman who heard him say that, it's like, okay, so anything that you do outside the relationship, you don't say, but within the relationship, you keep private. So he's like a serial cheater, and he doesn't bring anything inside the relationship.
Fair.
Really strange. And he's done with her. But remember, they've got the rose moving forward. So I think Kat's, like you said, is probably looking for another male.
Yeah.
Two people show up. One of the Goldens that I don't know or don't care. And then our old friend Leia. Again, I don't know these people, but I just remember she was a villain of some kind. So I Googled what Leia did. So do you remember the three women on Joey's season? Sydney, Leia, and Maria.
Wait, is she the one that ate too much? Did she eat all the shrimp?
Leia?
No. Okay. I remember Sydney. You hated Sydney's guts. Sydney is the one that owns a thrift store in Rhode Island, and she was beefing with Maria, who we love.
She was beefing with Maria, but Leia was kind of also teaming up against Maria. And remember, I remember on the
Is she kind of Asian?
Yes.
Yes.
She's like
she completely made up a lie about Maria just so she could have a beef on the show that wasn't even true. Right. That, of course, they never fully addressed. They never put them both in the same place to discuss it because they never do.
Right. So Leah from Joey's season shows up. She's like this 4'8" Asian.
Yeah.
She's fine. She's pretty. She's attractive. So she hits it off right away with the Ken doll Sean, who's also 4'8". So that's a perfect match.
Yeah.
He's always has the perfect 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
He's like
super
George
gay,
Michael.
He's super gay on pause. So
No,
gay.
everything about him is gay. Everything about him. He hits all the stereotypes.
Yeah, the sex he has with men often is pretty gay. On pause. Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at, gents. Men have the power. Leah is the new woman. I'm sure they'll bring more women on next episode. Dale and Kat are on the outs. That's the cliffhanger. And we'll see what happens with those two psychopaths.
That is, Jason, you know I love you. You do such a great job here. You've neglected to mention the absolute just total shift that the show announced it's going to make starting next week.
Give it to me.
There's a $500,000 prize money that's been introduced, and the whole show is going to turn into a game show starting next week. It's going to be it's just like the challenge. So they've mocked all these, or they've tried to tail all these Netflix shows and try to have a love show, and then they're bringing in some old people for God knows why. And then in the middle of the season, we're 3 or maybe 4 episodes into the season, all of a sudden they're like, this is an individual game, and you guys are all dueling, and you're going to do challenges to try to win money out of the blue. Did you turn the show off before they got to that part, Jason?
I don't watch the previews anymore. I'm so bored with this season.
Yes.
So $500,000 to the last remaining couple, or the person that wins the challenge is
Jesse hasn't explained that yet, but they just showed them doing challenges and eating bugs and shit, and it becomes the real world road rules challenge, Bachelor in Paradise, beginning next week. And now look. Yes, this is stupid. Yes, this is not the Bachelor in Paradise. We like Bachelor in Paradise because they lounge on the beach. They fall in love and then they're in love for 3 days. And then a dude with a mesh shirt shows up and they go, actually, fuck you. I need to go talk to Josh. And it's great. And then at some point, Chris Harrison walks in and goes, okay, you guys need to figure it out. Are you going to get engaged or never speak to each other again? And they're like, oh my God. And it's great. But they're not doing that anymore. And they brought on old people. And these old people have that like saggy, like inner leg skin, which is disgusting. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see them dancing in the rain. I don't want to see old people having fun. I don't want to think about them fucking. This Kim guy, he gets a rose because the lady that fucked Prince, she was going to give a rose to the gay black guy, Gary. But instead, the dancer black lady gave him her rose. So then the lady who fucked Prince had nobody to give her rose to, so she gives it to this guy Kim, who's disgusting. Then he fucking reads her a poem that rhymes, Jason. He's like, roses are red, and everybody's cringing on the whole set. It's disgusting. So it's like, what is this show? It needs something. And the producers, I think, realize, and they're like, get Budweiser to give us $500,000, and we just got to do something. Let's just make them play games, because no one's going to watch this. So it's now pivoted to a game. It's gone from being a game show with no prize money to being a game show with actual prize money. So that's coming up. That's what we're going to have to check in with next week.
And it sounds, what's great about this is that it sounds like you and I have found our lanes. So I do the young.
No, I hate them all.
You do the old and the previews. You just handled all the old drama and the previews.
I just watched for once. This is the one episode a season that I happened to watch. So I for once, I actually have some knowledge about what's happening. Jason, fantastic job as always. For Jason Stewart, my name is Brian Beckner. This has been the Bachelor Lifestyle from theballerlifestyle.com. Bachelor in Paradise is in session, and we will see you next time.
Who's the most hated? Who had the best date? Who's getting eliminated? You all speculating like you wouldn't believe, but she logged on to reality Steve. So Bachelor lifestyle, we living it.
It's a baller lifestyle. We live in it.
Bachelor lifestyle, we living